What's up, indie musician? I need you to listen to me really carefully. Your friends and family are not your fans. What's up, guys? Brandon here from KDMR Music, the channel making you a more successful musician. And we do this through videos about music marketing, music strategy, and sometimes get real lessons just like this one. So if you're interested in that type of content, if you're wanting to grow your music career from a hobby to sustainable income, you should hit the subscribe button, then hit the bell icon. That way you're notified when new videos go live. This video was long overdue, unfortunately. Now, back in the day, I used to do a segment on this show called Real Talk, where I just got super real and spoke really angrily into a camera for about 2 minutes about something that musicians need to stop doing. And this is one of the things that kind of bugs me a lot as well. I think when I talked about it in that series, I told people that they should stop complaining on Facebook, right? But what I really want to talk about is the unfair expectation that many musicians and entrepreneurs and really anyone on social media has of their audience, right? So when you're starting out as a musician, chances are you don't have any fans unless you were doing something else, Drake, before you started doing music. You don't really have like a huge fan base that's willing to kind of just follow you and be interested in whatever you're doing just because you're you. Chances are you're starting out with your family, like your immediate family, a few friends, and maybe some people you're acquainted with online. The example that I see most often is Facebook. And so what a lot of artists do, especially urban music artists, hip hop, R&B, a lot of times what they tend to do is just add as many people on Facebook as they can, whether they know them or not, right? Like if you look like you're someone who might like my music, I'm going to add you to my personal profile on Facebook, not my fan page, but I'm going to send you a friend request as if we know each other, right? And what happens, what I see a lot on Facebook are these posts where musicians are like, I'm just not getting enough support, man. Y'all on Facebook don't support me like y'all are supposed to. If Jay-Z walked into the room, y'all would buy his album, and he's already a billionaire. He don't need it. He doesn't need your money. But you know, me, your friend, somebody you know, is trying to start something and be productive, and y'all don't support. And that really kind of begs some. I have to tell you this, right? Because those are not the same thing. Those examples are not the same thing. The biggest difference between you and Jay-Z is I like Jay-Z. I know Jay-Z's music. Jay-Z has made songs that are connected to moments in my life. I will never forget the night that I lucked up and got tickets to the Watch the Throne tour for like $20, right? And me and one of my friends from school, we sat there rapping every Jay-Z and Kanye song there was in front of these mega screens and crazy stuff, right? I remember that day like it was yesterday. I'm never going to forget where I was the first time I heard You Don't Know by Jay-Z. I was in my brother's Dodge Neon that he had just gotten because he was 16 and I was like 10. And I was like, what is this? This beat is amazing. And I was just having fun being the little brother to my big brother who I thought was the coolest dude in the world, right? I remember the first time I heard Renegade when my cousin from New York brought the CD down and I heard the blueprint for the first time. These are all fond memories that I have of Jay-Z. I don't have any of those memories with you. And even if we do know each other, it's not because of your music, right? Chances are your friends and family, they know you for other things. Your mom literally knows you because you came out of her, right? Like, not to be graphic, but you're a part of her. She's always going to see you as her baby. And she may support you because of that, but it's because of that it's generally not going to be because your music is just so amazing. Although, over time, perhaps she does develop that respect for your craft if you take it seriously enough, right? Your friend from first grade, who's been your friend since first grade, they're supporting you because they have a personal connection to you, right? But if you're going to be successful in the music industry, you're going to need a lot more people who have a connection to you that feels personal, right? I've never met Kanye West, but there was a time period in my life where Kanye West was like my biggest role model in my head because he made music that I loved. He dressed in a way that I wanted to dress, and he was cool and he was trend setting and all that stuff. Same for Jay-Z, same for Pharrell Williams, same for Ninth Wonder. There's a lot of people who I can look back on, like, my musical life and be like, hey, I wanted to be like this guy at one point. And you're going to have fans that feel the same way about you, but you don't have them yet. And that's totally fine. But what you don't want to do is waste your time complaining about the people who don't view you that way, as opposed to going out and finding more people who potentially could view you that way. Listen, if someone is going to be a fan of yours, it's not going to be because you begged them to. Now, you might find somebody, you might meet someone at the airport, they might drop their luggage, you help them put it together, and then you find out you're on the same flight, right? And that person asks you what you do. Oh, yeah, I'm a musician. Oh, really? Let me check out your stuff. Oh, cool, I like this, right? That person has a personal connection with you because you met a need of theirs, and then they were able to check out your music and it resonated. That's awesome. That's a chance encounter. That's not going to happen very often. What's more likely to happen is, you're doing the normal everyday work to promote yourself. You have an interview at the local radio station, or you get a write up in the local newspaper, right? Your city's weekly newspaper. You get an interview on a podcast that someone listens to. They get insight into who you are as a person, and then they listen to your music and they get insight into who you are as a musician, and then they make a decision like, I'm rocking with that guy. I don't know him, but I like what I've seen from him so far. That's how fandom works. But there's a very distinct difference between friendship and fandom. Fandom can be very much one-sided because you have fans that you've never heard of. They've heard of you, but you don't really know who they are necessarily. You couldn't spot them in a lineup. Your friends, that's a symbiotic relationship. You give to me, I give to you. Great, right? You want your friendships to be just friendships, right? If all of my friendships were based on whether or not somebody bought my course, right? Or recommended me to their musician friends, or I don't know, gave me $5 on Cash App, right? I'd have like no friends because the majority of my friends are like lawyers or doctors or accountants or professional people who have nothing to do with music besides consuming it. Now, if they run across somebody who's like, hey, I want to learn about music, they might say, hey, I got a friend. Check out my friend Brandon. His stuff is really dope. He talks about that all the time, right? But I don't expect them to go out recruiting. I don't pay them. They're not on my staff, right? There's no obligation for your friends and your family to support you in that way. And if you're expecting that, then it's really putting a strain on your relationships and you're not free to do the things you should be doing. Now, all this was a very long-winded way of saying you shouldn't be begging people for support on social media. The people who want to support you will support you. And you got to take your time and energy and focus that on finding more people like your current supporters. So the best way to do that, if you don't know anything about music marketing, go ahead and sign up for my course. It's called Master Music Marketing. Right now, it is half off for the Black Friday weekend. On Monday, the price goes back up, and I'm actually closing access to the Master Music Marketing community after this year. So if you want to be a part, you want to get access to the 45 plus training videos we have. It goes from registering your music for all your royalties, all the way up to automating email subscriptions and website stuff and your merchandise, all of that. We cover all of those bases from start to finish. And for at least the rest of this year, you get access to our private coaching community where once a month I host Zoom calls where we can really talk about what's working well for you, what's not working so well, and what you could probably be doing better to progress as a musician. I have a goal in 2022 to personally help 100 musicians make sustainable income from zero to profit, right? So I want you to be one of those 100. So go ahead and hit the link in the description. Go to mastermusicmarketing.com and you can sign up for the course. If you want a taste of what the course is about, there is a free training that I have on the fan journey to turn complete strangers into super fans. That link's in the description below as well. Hopefully this video is helpful. This wasn't a video to like beat you down or make you feel bad. But I do want you to understand the difference between having an active fan base who cares about you for your music and for the other things that you do, and having friends who care about you because you're a person that they know and love, right? You got to be able to see the difference between those two and value them for what they are, because they are two very distinct things that deserve different types of attention. I want your friends and family to be your friends and family. I don't want them to feel like they have to support you in a certain way to be your friends. And I don't want you feeling like they have to support you a certain way to be your friends and family, because it's just gonna lead to a bunch of nonsense mentally for you. And you don't need that. If you're trying to be a successful musician, you're gonna have to have so much more focus than that. And that's one of those things that'll just get you hung up. Definitely don't want you stuck at zero. So please take my advice. Go learn how to promote your music to real people and build real fan relationships, and stop relying on your friends and family to do it for you. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in another one very soon. Until then, be safe, be well, keep dreaming, and work hard to make those music business dreams your reality. Peace.